Hi, everyone. All right, do the thing. Special thing for this movie. I'm sorry I had to. Don't sue me, Victor Face. Oh my god. What was this movie? Alright, hi everyone. It's me, Grant, the movie and TV guy. Welcome to Raise Up with Grant. The delightfully. Can I call it the Angry Grant Show if I enjoyed myself? I guess so. Hi. We're going to talk about a movies and TV. That's what we do here. And that movie is. Sorry, we were a couple minutes late. Sorry. And that movie is Knights of the Zodiac. Spoiler warning, by the way. You out of the room? Good. It should be called Night of the Zodiac, and I'll explain why. What up, Jared? So Knights of the Zodiac is based on the manga of the same name. Knights of the Zodiac, Saint Seiya, is directed by Tomek Baginski. I hope I'm saying the name correctly. And I believe... And they have primarily done video game ads. That makes so much sense. So anyway... what's this movie about? I have no idea. So, Knights of the Zodiac is, like I said, directed by Tomek Baginski. Again, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. And it's in theaters. Somewhat wide release by Sony. I don't know why. What's the film about? Well, we are introduced at the beginning of the story to the story of these legendary figures known as the Knights. They are hired, they're basically chosen with mystical powers to use the power of what they call cosmos, which are this sort of the celestial energy that comes out of them, and gives them basically body armor. And they are the protectors. Nobody did, Jared. Nobody did. This was dumped into theaters. So they're the protectors of a young girl named Sienna, who is in fact the reincarnation of the goddess Athena. And when Athena takes over, it could lead to saving the world or destroying it. Various factions, including Sienna's adoptive mother, played by Famke Johnson, and her main advisor, Nero, played by Diego Tanaka, are trying to inexplicably try to kill her to prevent... Why are they the villains? They're trying to kill this character to prevent the apocalypse, but then kind of they're not. They're doing it to control... This movie was baffling. Madison Iseman plays Sienna. The only protector they can have is the legendary Pegasus Knight, Saya, played by an actor by the name of Makenyu. That is his name. It is a name. It is a one-word name. This is the one thing I'll give this movie. They got an actual Japanese actor in the movie. It wasn't, the rest of the cast was whitewashed, but not the lead. And he has to train to break a rock with his bare hands, and this will somehow prevent the end of the world, I guess. And ridiculous shit just happens. And it's terrible, but awesome. Fuck the plots. Holy shit, this movie! Where do I even begin? I guess I'll start at the beginning of the movie itself. The opening, little prologue, which is narrated by Sean Bean, and oh my god, isn't that sad? And yes, spoiler alert, he does die in this, because of course he does. He's Sean Bean. One does not simply appear as Sean Bean in a Sean Bean movie without dying. Yeah, exactly. and he's narrating it. The opening scene, it looks like a bad PC game from the late 90s. Like, the effects are terrible, and it just gets worse from there. I've seen episodes of Power Rangers that look more convincing than this. This movie cost $60 million. What the fuck? Where did the money go? Where did it go? It wasn't on the screen at all. It's like between this and Love Again, when did Sony become the Asylum, but with a theatrical release? Because they have really been, shooting blanks lately when it comes to their success rate here. Oh my god. I should point this out. No surprise, I don't know this manga. Never read it. Never seen the anime series that followed it. There's a lot of lore here. Clearly, it feels like this movie feels like watching a manga where it's like the volumes. It feels like we got the first volume of the manga, maybe even the first half of the first volume of the manga, and it took 2 hours, and then the movie was over. And even then, it's rushed. This whole movie, it has the Last Airbender syndrome, where everyone is like, people don't talk like people in this movie. They talk like exposition machines. They talk to each other like, it's the kind of movie where you hear the lines, as you know, and so tell me again, a lot. But at the same time, unlike The Last Airbender, I thought it was kind of fun. It's not a good movie. It's a terrible movie. But it's that special kind of terrible. It's the devil conspiracy kind of terrible, where you're like, I'm so glad I'm here, and I want more. Like, it's one of those bad movies where you have to see it. Like, it's not simply like, I wasn't mad at this movie at all. I had a blast at this movie for all the wrong reasons. And even though it's getting a lower score than I gave Fool's Paradise, I had a better, more enjoyable time watching this than I did Fool's Paradise, because it is objectively worse made than Fool's Paradise, but it's more enjoyable. Because you don't feel kind of mad when you leave, you just feel kind of like, what the hell did I just watch? Yes, it's sequel baits. Right there, then and there. Oh, also, all due respect to this actor, and I don't want to hurt his feelings, but the dude who plays the main advisor, first off, his motivation, to say that his motivation is foggy or unclear is an insult to foggy and unclear motivations. He wants to, Famke Janssen's character, when they're trying to drain the energy out of Sienna, and when they're about to, she has a change of heart, and he's like, and his whole thing is, we need to do this for some reason. And then he shows up, and then tries to fight her, and is like, no, we need to do this just because, I guess. And then later, he seems to try to be reasoning with the main hero during the fight, like, with this golden nugget of a line. Well, first off, when Famke Janssen tries to turn the machine off, I kid you not, and they say this with all earnestness, he says, it's like, stop, you fool! I am not kidding. He says that, like, with the conviction of, like, Al Pacino in fucking Godfather. He says, stop, you fool! It's hilarious. It's amazing. This is the kind of movie where its idea of non-expositional dialogue is someone says something like also they try to build this romance between Seiya and Sienna, and the extent of their relationship is not so much even like comical anger or comical bickering. It's more like it's like them like, ooh, one layer. He says like, oh, how you doing? How you doing, night guy? It's like, oh my god. It's like that kind of movie. It's like that. It's like early Star Wars: The Clone Wars before it got good. Like the Clone Wars movie where it's like Sky Guy shit. It's like a lot of that. And there's like a moment where he says something like, oh, where did you come from? And he goes, or they're talking about going like the bathroom in the house, and it's like, oh, like, you know what's in there? A toilet to flush you out. It's like, what? This movie. Anyway, anyway, the nugget he says is, and then like seconds later, stuff will happen and then just be ignored for the sake of moving the plot forward. So they stop you, fool, whatever, and they're fighting, and he goes, "She's not your friend anymore. She's the goddess of warfare, and she will destroy us all." That is a line in this movie that is said with complete conviction. Now, I don't mean to hurt this guy's feelings. Sure, he's a fine actor and probably a nice guy. No evidence here. But Diego Tanaka, his facial features, I don't mean to be a jerk, because he's like not a bad-looking guy, but like his facial features are really close to like the center of his face. They have him wearing this helmet, like this sort of chainmail, this sort of supernatural chainmail. Okay, fair enough. Where it's positioned, he looks ridiculous. He looks like, not only is it a bad costume, he looks, the way that it covers his face. I don't even blame him. I blame the costuming guy. It looks so funny. It looks so unintentionally hilarious. So at the end of the movie, they're both, they get literally the armor blown off of them, so they are both, hunky and shirtless. You know that the sequel that will never happen is coming because you think he's dead, but then he's standing up there and they look up at him and he gives them a scowl while shirtless, clutches his necklace, which apparently the powers come from, and walks away. Now here's where I say it should be called Night of the Zodiac, because at the end of the movie, there is only really one night. And it's Seiyu for this movie. Maybe, in later issues, maybe. But in this movie, just this movie, I saw it tonight, it's him and then the other guy, but he's kind of like a renegade, like bad knight. So I don't even count that. At the end of the movie, he's looking for his sister, who, her whole role, and this actress, bless her heart, this child actor who plays the sister, she talks like this, like, so, like, she's trying to emote. That's supposed to be, like, emotional. She's being abducted, basically. And the line that she says is something like, you can't access it. Only the Pegasus can. It's supposed to be, like, emotional. But in this, it's like, you can't access it. Only the Pegasus can. It's terrible. There is a character in this movie. I love this character. Her name is Marin the Eagle Knight. I'm going to credit this. You never see her full face. She's played by Caitlin Hudson. She's phenomenal because her character just appears. Just keeps popping up. Like, okay, she's basically like the Mr. Miyagi figure who's sort of training him for the battle to come. So they're in this like barren desert that looks like a leftover set from the Devil Conspiracy, but to be fair, at least this one had lighting on it, kind of. It was at least in broad daylight, so it didn't look, I could see who was fighting who, kind of. She's training him to break a rock with his bare hands, and her method of when he gets out of line and tries to fight back is she takes two fingers under his chin and just looks, punches him into the air. I'm sitting there like, this is really funny. And again, in anime, that might be really cool, but in live action, it just looks ridiculous. It looks like she's trying to, like, finger gun him. It's terrible. But then she just keeps appearing, and so at one point, he's left off by, I think, actually the best character in the movie. Like, the only character that's legitimately good. Mylok, played by Mark Dacascos. This guy understood the assignment. He has maybe the only really good fight scene in this, and he's really charming. He kind of looks like a weird cross, but he kind of looks like Jet Li's character in the Forbidden Kingdom if he raided Ringo Starr's wardrobe. Maybe with a dash of, an extra in John Wick. He's a lot of fun. And his character is, when he leaves him to go climb a mountain, and then, like, inexplicably, with, like, no prior understanding of the teachings, he seems to be saying a quote that's, like, a wisdom from the other knights, even though you never see him learning these things yet. He just sort of does it. He gets to the top of the mountain, and that's when we first meet Marin. She just appears out of nowhere, and it's just, like, and understandably, he's kind of like, oh. Guy's also a really bad actor, the lead guy. He's actually a Japanese pop star. This is, like, his first movie. But he gets up there, and she's standing there, and he goes, I will train you. Follow me. And then she just swan dives into, like, off the mountain, like, just whee, just like swan dives into like, the fog. And then he just looks there just like this. And he goes, but I just got up here. But I just got up here. He goes, I'm not going down there. Then just lingers on him in dead silent before it goes to the next scene. I'm like, what is this movie? What is this movie? It's great. And so she goes, and they fight, and then like at one point he's like trying to master his things, and then just for a split second you see her going like, master your powers, just appears out of nowhere, and then the sister's like, yeah! I love this movie. It's so bad. I want to find a picture because I cannot describe to you how because we never see this actor's face. For all we know, she's doing the voice, and it's like a stunt person underneath it. The Eagle Knight. Okay, I want to see if I can find a picture of her from the movie. Oh yeah, that's they actually. I have to admit, they actually, looking at the original illustration, they did do a pretty admirable job. Okay, this is how she looks in the movie. Right at the camera. It looks even shittier in the movie. You never see her face, just that silver mask. So when she pops up, it's hilarious because she just shows up there and it's like this. That mask on, you're like, huh! Just like suddenly, she just magically appears. There's a fight. The fight scenes are so hyper edited. Like, if you have light and color sensitivity or epilepsy, you are gonna be fucked if you see this movie because there is a lot of energy beams and there is a lot of hyperactive anime style editing choices that are just hilarious. Where like, a character will get tapped on the chin and will like flip in midair. It's just ridiculous. And there's one scene, just one, and nobody else is gonna catch this, but I just thought this was hilarious. So the Famke Janssen's characters, like her usual army guys, are these like side of human cyborg hybrids that eventually Nick Stahl's character becomes one of. He's also in the mix in all this. And there's a part where they're like fighting in like an alleyway, and it's Myloc's character, and he's shooting. I think it's Mylock, and anyway, they're fighting, and he like ducks and weaves, and then he just puts his arm back and just starts flying toward him like zoo. I was almost. I had to contain myself. The other good thing about this is there were other people in my screening for this one, unlike Fool's Paradise, and a big group with a lot of small kids. Now, I was gonna say, if you're about 9 to 12 years old and you're a boy, or you're a 9 to 12-year-old tomboy, you might like this movie because it is like, I have to admit, if I were like 10 years old, I'd probably think this movie is pretty rad. Much in the same way that Scott Pilgrim's good. Shark Boy and Lava Girl, rather. I liked at the time, and I still like, for different reasons now. But it has that same thing. It's like, I thought that we stopped making this movie like when Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li came out. We're like, yeah, no more of this half-baked, prepubescent, bad CGI nonsense. But no, it's still here, guys. This level of ineptitude still exists. It's at your local movie theater, and it's called Knights of the Zodiac. So anyway, getting back to my point about the end of the movie. So the big goal he wants to have that eventually leads him to meeting all these, weird people is he wants to save his sister, Patricia, which, by the way, that's such a weird, maybe that's in the anime. I have a feeling that there was a Japanese name for that character. But he goes to say, she says, we need to save your sister. He goes, and then when we do, we have to assemble the other Knights of the Zodiac for the battle to come. Roll credits, pop song. I'm just like, sold. I want more of this. Please make a sequel to this movie. They're not, because it's going to not do well, because it's already not doing well, and its budget is too big for what it is, and for the niche audience it has. But holy God, this movie is delightfully inept in a way that I haven't seen since The Devil Conspiracy. This is like next level. I implore you, we're gonna wrap it up soon, but I implore you, fucking go see Knights of the Zodiac. My score is going to be low for purely objective reasons. Go fucking see Knights of the Zodiac. I'm gonna give it 1 star because I reserve my 1 star rating for movies I think are genuinely so bad that they're awesome. 1 star, but it's a recommending one. I know there are a lot of better movies in theaters right now. I understand that. Blackberry was terrific. You know, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, Sisu, Polite Society, so many good movies right now. They can wait. Go see Knights of the Zodiac, preferably with friends, and if you need to, liquor and drugs. Like, legal drugs, of course, like weed. But see this movie. Oh my god. If Ben were with me tonight, or some one of my friends with me tonight, and it was just us, it would be great. Now, the last thing I need to mention before we get to trailer trash, and we wrap this puppy up, there were a bunch of kids in theater. Now, the youngest one, the 9-year-old one, was like, cool, whatever. And there was a girl, and she seemed to be okay with it. And then there was, like, his brother, who was maybe, like, 12. And at one point, his brother turned to his mom, and it was, like, stadium seating is the recliners. It was at the O'Fallon Theater. Because it wasn't in Edwards. Edwardsville didn't get it. So he says out loud in the theater, like, this is ridiculous, Mom. About the movie. And then another point, they have a guy who also just appears who's sweating really profusely. And then he goes, why is he sweating so much? This is stupid. Kid, you're gonna go places in this. And the little brother's like, shut up. I like it. Yeah. You have fun with that, little buddy. And I liked it. Not for any of the right reasons, but yeah. Anyway, those kids were awesome. Anyway. Knights Zodiac, 1 star out of 5. Let's go to the look on it. Trailer trash. Let's talk some trailer trash. Elemental, we talked about it. It looks good. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, talked about it. Looks good. Transformers: Rise of the Beast, talked about it. Looks good. The Flash, talked about it. Looks good. Gran Turismo. I forgot this was going to be a movie. I remember when they announced the development on this and that Neil Blomkamp was directing it. Otherwise, but I didn't know what the plot was. And watching this movie, I'm like, this looks like it has potential. I like Neil Blomkamp for the most part, although I think that nothing he's done since District 9 has ever been as good as District 9. But my only caveat is the movie looks like a giant ad. And I mean, like, all video game movies essentially are kind of that way. But this movie especially, it looks like a 2-hour PlayStation commercial. Because it's literally about this guy who plays so much Gran Turismo that he becomes a race car driver. And it's a true story. And there's a lot of PlayStation signage everywhere in the game itself, in the movie. I don't know how I feel about that. But we'll see. Orlando Bloom and Onions in it, so that, it's a nice. Haven't seen him in a while. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, talked about, looks good. Can't wait to see that in just a couple weeks. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes long. I don't know why, but it is. Again, I love the first one, so I'm looking for it. Who doesn't love Into the Spider-Verse? That was like, even snotty film critics who hate superhero movies admitted that one was good. So. Eric MacArthur. What? Nothing, sorry. I don't know who said that. That was me. And then was there shawarma? Not really. There were graphics, kind of, but no, there were no scenes. That's it. All right. So yeah, that is it. Tomorrow we're seeing Hypnotic. Monday is Crater. That'll all be next time. Like, comment, subscribe if you wanna. I like waffles. Leave a comment. Serialized, Facebook, Letterboxd, Instagram, podcast, all the things. Take care of yourself, take care of your mental health. It's incredibly important. I want to know down below, what did you think of Knights of the Zodiac? Did you like the movie? Did you hate the movie? Think my opinion's good? Think I'm full of shit? Comment below, let me know. And until we meet again, we were all raised on popcorn. Make my mouth extra butter. Catch you guys next time. Take care, everyone. Bye.